This is the Grappler Variety Podcast, episode 16, Clayton Grant. Welcome to the Grappler Variety Podcast, episode 16, where our special guest today is Clayton Grant and his dad, Shaun. Now, you may ask, why have you got a young little grappler on here today of all the people that you've been talking to before? Well, all grapplers are important, and especially in the UK, it is Autism Acceptance Week. And this young man has been battling all sorts and winning lots of medals in it, and we're going to find out all about him today. So, first of all, thank you and welcome to the show.
Hello.
How are you guys? How is everyone?
We're good. How are you?
It's all right. It's very hot in the little room, I'll be honest. It's a very hot day.
It's a really good day. Yeah, the sun is shining.
Yeah, the sun is shining. Right, so let's get the ball rolling then. Right, so for you guys then, where did your journey into sort of grappling and jiu-jitsu in particular begin?
Do you want me to talk? Are you okay? Yeah. So Clay was interested in playing chess when he was younger, but I always saw the value of martial arts, and I don't know who it was, but I just remember someone saying, "Well, jiu-jitsu is human chess, so you have to think about moves. It's very similar to use your brain." And yeah, so we took him along to a session in Southampton at Parity Martial Arts, and they basically he'd done his first session there. He actually didn't like it. He'd come away saying that he didn't enjoy it. He didn't want to go back, but we give it a second chance, and from then on, he's absolutely loved it. He's been training for about 4 years now.
Excellent. Well, I've seen lots of pictures, lots of medals in that time. So what was it like then? So the first lesson you didn't like, what was it about it maybe that you didn't like about it, or what changed your mind when you went back for the second one?
I think you just tried different sports, didn't you? And you just couldn't find something that you liked. So we tried football or soccer in the to the Americans,
Yeah.
Basketball, cricket, all sorts of different sports. But we kind of just want to say, give it a second chance. We kind of almost sort of forced him to go back, give it a real good, a second look. And I think it's just a case of making friends sometimes and connecting with the people.
Oh, excellent. So from there then, you started at your BJJ classes, you're going. What about then, because you're competing as well, and a lot of people, even adults, will go to class every week and they're happy to go to class, but competing is something that is a step up, and a lot of people just enjoy the fitness of jiu-jitsu and they're not really interested in competing. But Clay, you sort of dove straight in on the competing, I think, didn't you? So what drove you to do that then?
Sure.
He always kind of wants to push himself. He always wants to. He's quite competitive by nature. I think it maybe comes with having an older brother. There's always competitive, and there's always sort of games going. I just think he wanted to compete really and have a go against other people. The sparring was always his favourite bit in the gym. So I think it's a natural progression, really.
Oh, excellent. Have you had a favourite tournament win so far? Has there been a favourite tournament that you've done, or one that you've liked, or one that you're proud of?
I think it was my first ADCC.
Oh, cool. What did you have to do in that one?
It was difficult. I was fighting really good kids, and it was hard. But I came away knowing something new.
Excellent. That's a great attitude. Yeah, you always learn something. That's definite. So from there, then you've also developed your game a lot more into a gi and no gi. I've seen you doing that. How have you enjoyed that? Do you find differences with gi and no gi? Is there one you prefer?
I think I like Nogi more.
Or what is it you like about no gi?
Like it's more easy to move around, and you can't get choked by your own gi or blinded by your own gi. You can see easily in a match.
Excellent. And from your no-gi stuff, you looked to develop that a little bit further, didn't you? Because I understand you started doing a bit of wrestling as well. How have you found that?
I just wanted to give it a try one day, and I came home liking it, so I kept going.
Excellent. And what would you say you've learned from wrestling that's added to your BJJ?
They're like if someone's laying flat, no, not that. How it flips on over, I think it was
Okay.
like turtling.
Yeah. What about maybe like takedowns as well? You've done better takedowns at wrestling.
Like arm spin and hip toss and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, excellent. That's good to hear. Now, one for Dad now. Um, as we said at the start, there's been we've had some concentration and things we talked about in the past and that. And how have we found that with adding BJJ, well, and wrestling now, and Nogi, and all the other things that you're probably going to do? How has that been with Clay and his training, his development?
Yeah, so I think it's added to his all-round jiu-jitsu game. Like you say, he prefers no-gi, so he's been to ADCC, he's been to NAGA, and it's obviously the wrestling can help with that. He's also taken on judo as well, so he's keeping busy. In the lead up to jiu-jitsu competitions, we kind of scale it back. We just focus on BJJ. He hasn't done any wrestling or judo competitions. Maybe that's in the pipeline. I don't know. But yeah, we just tend to kind of laser focus on the BJJ when we're prepping for a competition, and in the rest of the time, it's just helps his all round grappling game, I think.
Oh, that's good to hear. So have you got, Clay, one for you. Have you got any targets in the future then? Are there any tournament? Because you actually, sorry, let me scale back a bit. You've actually done some grappling competitions as well, haven't you? For a sport where sometimes it's a struggle to get people to compete, you're doing jiu-jitsu, gi and no-gi. You're training wrestling and a judo, and you've actually been out and traveled around the country and done some grappling competitions. How have you found that?
I think it's just like trying new stuff and seeing how it feels.
Excellent. What about the traveling to different places or coming out in front of different people? Does that scare you at all or worry you at all?
It's exciting seeing new people, fighting new people, saying hi, making friends, letting people watch you win, let lose, all that.
Excellent. How's it been for Dad doing those?
Yeah, it's good. I love watching him. I love watching him compete. But he's right. He's made lots of friends up and down the country with other kids who compete. It's always great to catch up with them and their parents when we meet them at competitions. And it's such a great jiu-jitsu community in the UK. It's really, really good, and we get lots of support, and it's fantastic. We really enjoy it.
Excellent. So go back to what I was going to ask you, what targets do you have for yourself, Clay? Are there certain things you want to achieve, maybe sort of in the next year or so or within the next 5 years? Is there certain things you want to, achieve or win?
Say again?
I really want to become a UFC fighter.
Oh, UFC fighter. Okay. Who are your favourites on there?
Paddy the Baddy is my favorite UFC fighter.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. And you want to follow in his footsteps?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're going the right way at the moment with all the different things that you're training in. What about in the more short term? Are there any other competitions coming up or anything you want to test yourself in?
What we
Or
got?
maybe do some more grappling competitions or maybe some more no-gi competitions? Anything in particular you want to sort of push yourself and try?
A cage fight in Tokyo, I think.
So yeah, he has.
Okay.
He's fighting on the fight series in Torquay. So it's in a cage, but it's BJJ rules following ADCC rules. He's fought down there before. Unfortunately, got beaten, but we're going back down. We're going back down. Maybe not for revenge, but for to try and maybe settle some scores and against a different. But yeah, so again, it's something that puts him a little bit outside of his comfort zone. It's something that it's all eyes on him, and I mean he's got more balls than I have, because I don't know whether I could do that. But yeah, it's a second chance, and yeah, we're going to go down there and try our best, aren't we?
Oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. And I look forward to seeing what happens there. Now, one for you then, Shaun, one for Dad.
Yep.
Parents that are listening to this who maybe have children with, varying needs and things like that, or just parents in general who are sort of thinking about maybe martial arts, or maybe they see martial arts as, because if you Google a lot of things to do with jiu-jitsu or martial arts, normally you get some horrific moment of UFC history that comes up, and that'll probably scare parents to death. But now, what sort of advice would you have to them if they're thinking about it or considering it or whatever, really?
I would definitely recommend BJJ. I say quite frequently, I think it's really helped Clay. It's given him some structure. It's given him discipline. And also, but probably the most important thing, it's given him a routine. I mean, with the training, he knows where we're going to be, what day. He goes into the same gym or the same gyms now, because he trains at different gyms. And yeah, it's helped him. It's built relationships with his peers. He's got great friends. He's got some great role models in the gyms that he trains at, with not only the coaches but all the adults that are there. And it's just a great environment. It took me by surprise. It wasn't what I expected when we first walked into a gym. You expect kind of seasoned fighters with big cauliflower ears and things like that, but actually it's quite. Both gyms are really nice. It's really friendly, and the adults support the kids, and all the other kids are great, and the coaches are great, and it's just giving him a bit of a purpose and something to aim for, and to go and do.
And have you seen an impact on this, like off the mats as well? Because obviously, going into gym, doing stuff in the routine, that's one thing. But then, when you're at home.
Yeah, so for example, we moved last year, and it was a big thing for Clay, and I was really worried how it would affect him. But when we go to competitions, he's very much, with his autism, he's very much you say a time, you say, oh, I'll be back in a minute. He expects that to be a minute. So when we go to competitions and they give you a fight time of 11:21. And all of a sudden it gets pulled forward, or it goes backwards because the fight's overrun, or there's been an injury on the mat. Has to adapt a little bit. And I think having to do that and having that in competitions, I think when we moved, it was a big change. I think it just helped ease that transition a little bit more. He knew that, yes, we were moving, he knew where we were going, but it was a lot easier, I think, because he had the martial arts and the competition. They rear naked choke.
There you go.
Oh,
and that's what happens when he has to tidy his room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, then, as I say, we're moving up through school. We're moving up through jiu-jitsu and judo and wrestling and nogi and grappling competitions and all that. How have you found it all now, Clay? Looking back, let's say you're 4 years in now on the mats. Is that about 4 years? If you could think back to, imagine you on your first day and someone was coming in now, what advice would you give yourself?
I'll tell him it isn't that scary to join. Like, it's fun, but a little bit scary if you get subbed. Just tap me when it isn't scary anymore.
Oh, that's excellent. And to any kids maybe that are listening to this, or any parents that listen to this who maybe want to try it, or parents are thinking about it, what advice would you give to the parents?
What advice would you give to parents about
parents who might be scared now? They don't want their little kids getting hurt or whatever.
Just tell your kids.
Say again?
Tell them it isn't that scary. Tell the kids it isn't that scary.
But what about if the parents are scared about it? What would you say to them? They're like, they don't want their little boy or girl getting hurt, or the scary people at the gym, whatever.
As long as they tap, they'll be fine.
A fair point. So moving forward for yourself then, Shaun, what do you see happening next to Clay? Have you got any or are you just sort of seeing what happens or?
Yeah, I mean, I just support him in his dreams. If he wants to go to the UFC, then I always say to my boys, you can just do anything you can. If you want to do it, you just got to work hard. So, he keeps training, keeps working hard. I don't see why he couldn't achieve that. But it's all down to him. He's got to put the work in, he's got to put the effort in, and keep going really. But I would say to parents, whether your children have autism, ADHD, or either they're neurotypical, martial arts are great for kids. It really is. It really helps bring out confidence and all of those sort of things. And I think it's important that you don't just give up. We had that setback in that first lesson. Give it another go. Don't just dismiss it. Give it a couple of goes. I'm sure that it just takes time for something new, especially if the children have sort of neurodiverse issues. It might be a change, but stick with it, and you'll reap the benefits.
Oh, that's excellent. Because I mean, you've done all right so far, haven't you, Clay? Because I mean, I've seen over the last couple of years, like Tatami. I remember Tatami discovered you, didn't they? And you done all right out of that, from what I remember. I wouldn't have minded a few of them. They look cool. Oh, there you go. Sponsored by. That's good. And then I know recently as well, you won the Paige Hall Northstar Award to do with Fighting for Autism as well, didn't you? So would you like to say what about that what that was like?
No.
Or Dad?
Man, a few words. No. Again, it's just about raising awareness for autism. It's a really great charity. Clay was involved, I think, just over a year ago. I think we got involved, and they've been great with support, and it's a great community, jiu-jitsu community. There's lots of people out there that have autism and compete as well, and we know autistic fighters, and Fight for Autism has helped kind of bring us together as well, and it just helps when you see someone at a competition and can give some words of support and advice.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, then. So if anyone is listening to this and they are thinking, I need a young grappling, gi, nogi, judo, wrestling lad on my show, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you guys?
I think it will probably be our Instagram page. Clay has his own page that me and my wife manage. It's Clay_G_BJJ. And we post his training videos, we post his comp videos, and all of that sort of stuff on there. A lot of his Fighting for Autism stuff's on there as well. So just drop us a message, and even if it's just a parent that is going through something similar with autism or autism diagnosis or ADHD, we can also offer the support and the wisdom that we have from doing this for the last 4 years.
Oh, excellent. And I'll link that into the show notes as well then. So if they go to the website, they'll be able to click on straight through to that. And lastly, have you got anything else either of you guys would like to say, or any words of wisdom for those listening?
Like I say, I just think, keep going with martial arts. It is difficult when you have neurodiverse children. The coaches that Clay has are really great. They've adapted their training styles and the way that they coach, because obviously he does need to be treated a little bit differently, but stick at it, because you will reap the rewards. It will help them in other areas of their lives, whether it be at home or at school, on the playground, making friends and building relationships. And I'm certain that he will stick with this for the rest of his life, and it will help him through his life as he gets older.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, thank you for taking the time out this lovely, hot, sunny day to join us.
Oh, and Clay's got something he wants to add.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
I don't want you to just quit instantly if you don't like the first session. I want you to do it at least 5 times, because you'll probably like it the 3rd or 4th, 5th, 5th time. And just don't stop trying. Just keep trying to go. Keep trying to like it. Don't stop.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Well, again, thank you for taking your time today. Wise words there at the end. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
A massive thank you to Clay and his dad Shaun for taking the time out to talk to us this week. Again, we'll be back next week with another new guest. In the meantime, you can keep an eye on everything we do at the grappleofyoureye.com. And also, if you keep an eye on our social medias, we're on Instagram, Facebook, etc. Give us a follow, and you keep up to date with everything that we're doing on there. If you do like to listen to our podcast, please check us out on the Apple Podcasts and on Spotify and all the other podcast apps. Any likes and reviews really do make a massive difference to us. So please, do that. Maybe a cheeky share as well. If you like to watch, if you're one of those people that likes to watch, you can catch us on YouTube. Again, please give us a like and a share and a subscribe and enable those notifications to see everything we do as soon as it comes out. So I've been your host, Brett Summers, and that's it for this week. We'll be back next week. So please stay safe and stay on the mats.